The reason they have to bombard us is because we are infinite consciousness, and the potential of even the body computer to connect into much vaster levels of awareness, even within this virtual reality, are massive compared with what we're actually experiencing. So they have to keep this on all the time. It's actually a confirmation of our true potential, how hard they have to work to keep us in an unnatural state, i.e. in a state of mind and closed mind and closed awareness. So, to escape from the box, I would say we need to use the knowledge of what put us in the box and reverse it. You know, we don't need solutions, really. We need to remove the cause of the problem. And the cause of the problem is that we allow ourselves to be controlled in so many ways, and we don't need to do that. And if we don't, then the problem is not solved by a solution, it's solved by removing the cause of the problem. First of all, and this I find is the first movement that really starts this process of moving out of the box. From what point do we observe ourselves? If we observe ourselves as Ethel Jones and Charlie Smith, zoomf, we're in the box. Because we're identifying with being the body computer, being a name, being a job. Who are you? I'm Charlie Jones. I drive a bus. That's who I am. No, it's not your experience. Not who you are at all. But if we identify ourselves at that level, then we bring ourselves into a sense of limitation based on that self-identity. If, however, we move our point of observation from I am Ethel Jones and I drive a bus or whatever to I am infinite consciousness, all that is, has been and ever will be, having an experience in this now of being Ethel Jones driving a bus. It's not who I am, it's what I'm experiencing. This is not me, this is the vehicle for that experience. Immediately, it's what happened to me and it's happened to others. Your point of observation moves from little me to all that is. And once that point of observation moves, you are moving from being in this world and of it to being in this world, experiencing it, but not being of it in terms of your point of observation of your own experience and that which goes on around you. Suddenly everything starts to move, everything starts to change, just from that first readjustment of self-identity. From I am the reflection in the mirror to I am consciousness, and my vehicle to experience this reality reflects in the mirror. Crucial to this movement of self-identity from little me to all that is to drop these primitive emotional responses which come from the reptilian brain. So, be afraid, be very afraid, the big monster's coming. And? Where's the reptilian brain? There. Oh, God! And? I'm all that is. Has been, ever will be. I'm not frightened of anything. Why would I be frightened? What is there to be frightened of? Would consciousness be frightened of the big bad monster you're now inventing around your table? No. I am consciousness. I am not frightened of the big bad monster that you're in the process of inventing and trying to sell me as a big bad monster. Terrorism! Reptilian brain. In a picture, reptilian brain. Ah! So, terrorism. And? This mechanism has to go. These primitive emotional responses based on fear and based on reaction, not considered observation, that has to go. Because every time we react like that, we all do it. I'm not sitting cross-legged on a mountain saying I'm the Buddha and I shall tell you how it's all done. You know, I go through life trying to understand more things, but I go through life also experiencing my own journey. I've got arthritis in my knees. I can't sit cross-legged anymore. I haven't done for ages, which is good. I can't be the Buddha. And So it affects us all, but once you start to realize how this works, you start then to notice your primitive emotional responses when the reptilian brain kicks in, and then you can override it. You can go, oops, bit of rep brain there, sorry. That's all right, I notice it now. Change. Bird flu and swine flu. The reaction. Actually, these masks don't work. But it makes me feel better, you know. It keeps this a bit more quiet if I've got a mask. But again, the reaction comes from here and gets the desired response, which gets the desired justification to push the agenda forward. If we want to take control of our reality back, we need to move to a point where we identify ourselves between being infinite conscious and having experience, and we need to get this bugger under control. And we can do that by not reacting emotionally in the way that we are programmed to do, like sheep. You know, I've stood in England sometimes, and I've watched vast numbers of sheep being controlled by one sheepdog, fear, and the shepherd on a stick, symbol of authority. If those sheep did not succumb to fear and to authority and just went off and expressed their uniqueness, that shepherd and that sheepdog would have not one hell of a chance of making those sheep go where they want them to go. It would be impossible. But because the sheep conform to authority and yield to fear, one sheepdog and one shepherd can get large numbers of sheep to go exactly where they want them to. That's how humanity is controlled, and it's again through the reptilian brain. It's another thing. A sense of survival, a sense of security comes with most people, large numbers of people, from being like everyone else. Being like everyone else is like a comfort zone for people. And people feel uncomfortable when they break out of the herd. Lots of people do. Because in some way this is kicking in. Because it's again a form of not surviving, that leaving the comfort zone, which is living, believing and perceiving like the vast majority do. It all comes back to that. This is the guard on the gate. And to break out of that, we need to become the maverick. Not become the maverick because, again, a self-identity, I'm the maverick, I'm going to be different for the sake of it. No. Following our own heart, following our own desire in terms of the direction we want to go, the things we want to do and explore. And not denying and repressing that because it will take us out of the herd and, oh, what will your mother think? And, oh, what about the guys down the pub and the people at work and all that stuff? Being different, because being different is what happens when we express our uniqueness. We become different. Not different for the sake of it, different because we're different when we express our uniqueness and don't succumb to the herd mentality. This was a wonderful film, The Dead Poets Society, where Robin Williams was showing the boys in his class how to do this, how to think outside of the box. And he stood on his desk and he said, I stand upon my desk to remind myself that we must constantly look at things in a different way. You see, the world looks very different from up here. You don't believe me? Come and see it for yourselves. And the boys are there like, oh, stand on desk. We shouldn't stand on desk. It doesn't feel right standing on desk. And eventually they do, and they break out of this fear of not conforming. And we're now being offered the chance, as this information and this understanding starts to come to light, to break out of all these self-induced and externally engineered prisons, breaking out of being in the herd and reconnecting to all that is. And when you do that, you start behaving in different ways and saying different things and having different views. And this has to be brought under control, where it's not activating survival because you're being different, because you're the governor of this, it's not the governor of you, and therefore you can be different without the fear of the consequences. I went through incredible, breathtaking ridicule